You know, it's pretty amazing what a story that's thousands of years old can teach us about managing a crisis right now in our modern world. Today, we're going to break down this incredible blueprint for survival from an ancient text. It's the story of how one leader's incredible foresight didn't just save a nation, it saved pretty much the entire known world from a total catastrophe. Just picture this for a second. One minute, you are locked away in a prison cell, and the next, the most powerful man in the world looks you in the eye and basically says, "It's all yours. You're in charge of everything." And that's exactly where our story kicks off, with this absolutely stunning, dramatic moment of truth. Okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about one of the most unbelievable career jumps in all of history. I mean, from prisoner to prime minister? It's wild. This man, Joseph, is only 30 years old when he goes from the dungeon to being the second most powerful man in Egypt, which was the superpower of its day. And look, this wasn't just some empty title. Pharaoh made sure everyone knew this was for real. He gives Joseph his signet ring. That's like handing over the keys to the kingdom, the authority to make law. Then you've got the fancy robes and the gold chain, basically the official uniform for the top job. And the chariot? That was pure political theater, a parade to tell every single person, hey, this is your new boss. Listen to him. And to really seal the deal, Pharaoh completely brings him into the Egyptian inner circle. He gives Joseph a new Egyptian name, Zaphanath-Paneah, and even marries him off to the daughter of a powerful priest. Just like that, his old life is erased. He is now, for all intents and purposes, a top Egyptian leader. So you're probably wondering, why the sudden promotion? Well, Joseph got the job because he was the only one who could solve a massive, looming crisis. A crisis that he himself had predicted. It was a vision of a wild economic cycle, an incredible boom followed by an absolutely catastrophic bust. And the forecast was just a tale of two complete opposites. First up, 7 years of an unbelievable agricultural boom, where there would be more food than anyone knew what to do with. But then, right after that, 7 years of a devastating famine that would hit not just Egypt, but all the lands around them. So, you've got the warning. Now what? This called for a logistical plan on a scale the ancient world had probably never even dreamed of. It was time to get to work. You know, the really brilliant thing about this strategy was how simple it was. Joseph didn't just sit in an office. He personally traveled all over Egypt to set up this decentralized storage system. See, by storing all the extra grain in the cities right next to the fields where it grew, he slashed transportation needs and created a super efficient network for when the crisis finally hit. And the scale of this operation, it's just hard to wrap your head around. The text says they stored up huge quantities of grain like the sand of the sea. I mean, just try to imagine that. Piles of grain so enormous they look like sand dunes. It's unbelievable. And get this. This is probably the ultimate sign of just how successful the plan was. They collected so much grain that they literally just stopped keeping records. They couldn't count it all. It was beyond measure. The operation wasn't just working, it was blowing past every single expectation. You know, in the middle of all this, life is still happening for Joseph. These years of abundance weren't just about work. They were also a time of personal healing. He has 2 sons, and the names he gives them, Manasseh and Ephraim, tell you everything about his own journey from a place of pain to a place of purpose. It's a really human moment in the middle of this epic story. All right, so now we get to the final act. This is where all that planning, all that work, gets put to the ultimate test. The 7 good years are over. The crisis is no longer a forecast. It's here. Just as predicted, the clock ran out. The years of plenty came to a grinding halt. The boom cycle was officially over. And right on cue, the 7 years of famine began. It happened exactly as Joseph had said it would, proving that the massive national project he'd spent almost a decade building was absolutely necessary. And listen, this wasn't just a minor food shortage. Even with all its resources, Egypt was hit hard. The famine was severe. People were getting desperate. The plan was about to face its real-world test. The result of all this foresight was this stark, new reality. While the famine turned into a global disaster causing starvation in every other nation, there was one, and only one, exception. In all of Egypt, because of one man's plan, there was food. And this is the moment it all pays off. When the people of Egypt started crying out for food, Pharaoh didn't form a committee or debate what to do. He gave one simple direct order: go to Joseph and do what he tells you. And with that total authority, Joseph opened the storehouses. He didn't just save Egypt, he turned it into the breadbasket for the entire world. Everyone came to them. So what we have here is this incredible ancient case study in foresight, in centralized planning, and in logistical execution. And it really leaves us with a powerful question for our own time. As we face our own challenges, things like climate change, pandemics, supply chain disruptions, what can this ancient blueprint teach us about mastering the global crises of today?